Hi, everybody. It's Jessica Stone at Stansberry Research, along with James Early, the CEO of Stansberry China. And James, we're talking on Tuesday, which of course is the first day, I should say, that China has reported no new coronavirus deaths. And it's the first time that that's happened, really, since it started reporting figures back in January. How much trust should we have in those figures?
Well, Jessica, you show me somebody who trusts Chinese numbers, and I'll show you an idiot. And it's not as bad as it sounds. I mean, directionally, the figures have moved in the right direction. The deaths are way down, even if they're not totally gone. And I say not totally gone because there's been some buzz on Chinese media, as an example, in Wuhan, where the virus first came out. The trucks delivering the cremation urns or taking them away from the morgues have just had way too many cremation urns to justify the city's officially reported death rate. And apparently the police have been stopping people from taking pictures of this. So yeah, I'm not convinced that the virus is totally eradicated from a country of 1.4 billion people. But even if there is still a decent amount of virus still there, the trajectory is tremendous. And that is a fair and legitimate success story to China. They did lock down really quickly, and basically it worked.
So I would put you in the category, James, of a China watcher. And I wonder, you talked a little bit about some anecdotal things that you tend to watch when it comes to vetting Chinese numbers. But over the years, China's been accused of inflating, whether it's their GDP or misrepresenting certain ethnic groups' numbers. What's your key to sort of unlocking the truth behind them if you don't believe them literally?
There's a great article in Foreign Policy a year or two ago with the headline, "Nobody really knows China, even the Chinese government." And the message was the data is so inaccurate, it's just really hard to guess. I mean, they're not just fake GDP, they're fake article views. We've learned this by publishing articles or fake Apple stores. Everything can be fake in China. People, at one time, I found people putting videos out under my name, and it certainly wasn't my content. So that's just the reality of China. And I think, unfortunately, there's really no way to really vet some of these things. I mean, you can vet the direction, definitely, but you can't be accurate, and that's why you just kind of have to be willing to assume a lot of ambiguity to deal with China and to do business with China. Unfortunately, this is going to cause a lot of friction as China integrates more and more and more into the world economy, though.
There was a lot of stock put into at least the trends that they were reporting early on with the coronavirus that other countries basically based their models on. And so now we have this whole discussion in the Western countries that are experiencing the brunt of this of, hey, did we miscalculate or did they misrepresent the numbers? Should we have taken them into consideration? And how do we move forward with China taking a bigger role at the WHO and other health organizations when it comes to fighting other pandemics?
I don't think it's just about the numbers. I mean, certainly China, didn't help things at all by covering this up initially and kind of pushing it down. And obviously the virus was unable to spread because of that. So when it finally went outside of China's borders, it became a much bigger problem. But Jessica, remember, South Korea and the US both got their first virus patient on the same day. And look at the difference in outcomes. I mean, the US, and I say this as a proud American, but the US was frankly embarrassingly slow on a lot of respects. And I don't think that was just because of having faith in Chinese numbers. And I think that if we had faith in Chinese numbers and that was the sole determinant of our actions, that would certainly have been a mistake. But it was not. It's a lot of other things. And we did have warning, and it just took too long.
One last question with respect to how China is dealing with the virus now. They are trying to clamp down now on foreigners because they see imported virus as the new source of a returning virus. And with the need for the world to see China's economy grow and recover, I wonder how you see that those walls going up impacting that process.
As far as the economic targets go, I think it's frankly a little bit silly for China to try to insist on hitting its GDP growth target. It's just not realistic. It wasn't realistic in the first place, even for many years. China is still a very fast-growing big economy. That's great. They should be proud of that. There's no reason to hit 6%. And there's no way you can tell me that we have a global pandemic in which a large number of the countries that make up the majority of the GDP circulating around in the world are on lockdown, and it's not going to affect a country that is still hugely dependent on exports. It's still an export-heavy economy. So absolutely they're going to be affected, and I don't know if there's going to be a lot of blame thrown around, but there's no way China can dodge this bullet. They're in this boat with us.
Well, we're in the boat together. Thanks for your thoughts, James Early of Stansberry, China. We appreciate your time. And if you would like to see more content just like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's all for now. Thanks for joining us.